Welcome to the Pariksha Academy. Today's topic is Fundamental Rights. Fundamental Rights. Fundamental rights are basic constitutional rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution to protect individual liberty, dignity, equality and democratic life. Fundamental rights are contained in Part 3 of the Constitution, covering Articles 12 to 35. Part 3 is often described as the Magna Carta of the Indian Constitution because it protects individual liberty by imposing constitutional limitations on the power of the state. The concept of fundamental rights was significantly influenced by the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution, but the Indian Constitution adapted these rights to Indian social and political conditions. Originally, the Constitution provided 7 fundamental rights, but the right to property was removed from the list of fundamental rights by the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. At present, fundamental rights are classified into 6 major categories. Right to equality under Articles 14 to 18. Right to freedom under Articles 19 to 22. Right against exploitation under Articles 23 and 24. Right to freedom of religion under Articles 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights under Articles 29 and 30. Right to constitutional remedies under Article 32. Article 12 defines the state for the purposes of Part 3 of the Constitution. The state includes the Government and Parliament of India, the Government and Legislature of each state, and all local or other authorities within the territory of India or under the control of the Government of India. Judicial interpretation has developed the meaning of other authorities, taking into account factors such as governmental control, financial assistance, nature of functions and institutional structure. Article 13 provides the constitutional basis for declaring laws inconsistent with fundamental rights void to the extent of their inconsistency. Pre-constitutional laws inconsistent with fundamental rights become inoperative only to the extent of their inconsistency. After the commencement of the Constitution, the state cannot make a law that takes away or abridges fundamental rights, and such a law may be void to the extent of the violation. The expression law under Article 13 has a broad meaning and may include ordinances, orders, bylaws, rules, regulations, notifications, customs and usages having the force of law. Fundamental rights are enforceable by courts, therefore constitutional remedies are available when these rights are violated. Some fundamental rights are available only to citizens, while several others are available to both citizens and foreigners. Article 15, Article 16, Article 19 and certain protections under Article 29 are specifically related to citizens. Important protections such as Article 14, Article 20 and Article 21 are generally available to every person. Enemy aliens and certain other categories of persons may be subject to specific constitutional and statutory limitations. Fundamental rights are not absolute or unrestricted. The Constitution permits reasonable restrictions on various rights on grounds such as public order, security of the state, morality, decency, general public interest and other specifically prescribed grounds. Restrictions must not merely have a lawful basis, but must also satisfy requirements of proportionality and non-arbitrariness developed through judicial interpretation. Fundamental rights primarily provide protection against the state, but some fundamental rights may also operate against private individuals. Certain provisions of Article 15 have horizontal application in relation to access to specified public places. Article 17 abolishes untouchability and prohibits its practice in any form. Article 23 prohibits trafficking in human beings, beggar and other forms of forced labor, and may operate against private individuals as well. Article 24 provides constitutional protection to children against employment in specified hazardous circumstances. The right to equality includes equality before law, equal protection of laws, prohibition of discrimination, equality of opportunity in public employment, abolition of untouchability and abolition of titles. The right to freedom includes freedoms relating to expression, peaceful assembly, association, movement, residence and profession, along with protection of life, personal liberty, education, and safeguards against arrest and detention. The right against exploitation provides constitutional protection against trafficking in human beings, beggar, forced labor and specified forms of child labor. The right to freedom of religion protects freedom of conscience, the freedom to profess, practice and propagate religion, and rights relating to management of religious affairs. Religious freedom is subject to public order, morality, health and other provisions of the Constitution. Cultural and educational rights protect language, script and culture, and provide constitutional protection to religious and linguistic minorities for establishing and administering educational institutions. Article 32 provides the right to directly approach the Supreme Court for enforcement of fundamental rights. B.R. Ambedkar described Article 32 as the heart and soul of the Constitution. The Supreme Court may issue constitutional writs, including habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto, for enforcement of fundamental rights. High courts under Article 226 may issue writs for enforcement of fundamental rights as well as for other legal rights. Judicial review plays a central role in protecting fundamental rights because courts can examine the constitutional validity of legislative and executive actions. Interpretation by the Supreme Court has played a major role in the evolution and expansion of fundamental rights. In the A.K. Gopalan case, the early judicial approach adopted a comparatively narrow interpretation of personal liberty in Article 21. The Maneka Gandhi case strengthened the interrelationship among Articles 14, 19 and 21, and established that a procedure depriving a person of personal liberty must be just, fair and non-arbitrary. The Kesavananda Bharati case established the basic structure doctrine, placing constitutional limitations on Parliament's power to amend the Constitution. The Manerva Mills case linked the balance between fundamental rights and directive principles with the basic structure of the Constitution. In the I.R. Coelho case, the Supreme Court clarified that laws placed in the 9th schedule are not completely immune from judicial review when they affect the basic structure under the applicable constitutional test. In the K.S. Puttaswamy case, the Supreme Court recognized the right to privacy as a fundamental right connected with life, personal liberty and other fundamental rights. The Navtej Singh Johar case further strengthened the constitutional principles of dignity, privacy, equality and individual autonomy. The doctrine of waiver of fundamental rights is generally not recognized in India. In the Bashishar Nath case, the Supreme Court held that a person generally cannot waive fundamental rights and thereby permit the state to act contrary to constitutional limitations. The doctrine of severability is important in the interpretation of laws affecting fundamental rights. Under the doctrine of severability, if the unconstitutional portion of a law can be separated from the valid portion, only the unconstitutional portion may be rendered ineffective. The doctrine of eclipse primarily relates to pre-constitutional laws. If a pre-constitutional law is inconsistent with a fundamental right, it may remain dormant to the extent of inconsistency rather than becoming completely dead, and may become operative again if the constitutional obstacle is removed. Protection of fundamental rights operates not only against legislation but also against arbitrary executive action. State action must be fair, non-arbitrary and consistent with constitutional limitations. The Constitution permits Parliament to amend provisions relating to fundamental rights, but the amending power cannot be exercised in a manner that destroys the basic structure of the Constitution. Article 33 empowers Parliament to restrict or modify the fundamental rights of members of the armed forces, forces responsible for maintaining public order, intelligence organizations and certain connected services, to ensure proper discharge of duties and maintenance of discipline. Article 34 deals with the effect of martial law on fundamental rights in an area and Parliament's power to provide indemnity for acts done during such martial law. Article 35 gives Parliament exclusive legislative power over certain matters connected with fundamental rights, helping maintain uniformity throughout India. Fundamental rights may be specially affected during a national emergency. Under Article 358, the special effect on Article 19 operates only when a national emergency is proclaimed on the grounds of war or external aggression. Under Article 359, the President may suspend the right to move courts for enforcement of specified fundamental rights to the prescribed extent after the 44th constitutional amendment. Enforcement of Articles 20 and 21 cannot be suspended under Article 359. The right to property is no longer a fundamental right. The right to property is now a constitutional right under Article 300A, which provides that no person shall be deprived of property except by authority of law. Fundamental rights establish a constitutional balance between individual liberty and the legitimate authority of the state. Their significance lies not merely in granting rights to individuals, but also in ensuring that every institution of government functions within the limitations imposed by the Constitution. Thank you very much for joining us. For more useful study material, please like and share this video, and subscribe to the Pariksha Academy channel.